you, it is I. And when I play games like FIFA, I really enjoy it and have a lot of fun. And then I see a bunch of FIFA players complaining about how bad the game is. So I play Call of Duty and really enjoy that game. And then I see a bunch of hardcore COD players doing the same thing and I just don't get it. But when I complain about the problems in Forza Horizon 5, I get casual players asking me why I'm so negative all the time. So for those casual players who have only played Forza for a couple of years, then this video is for you, as here are 8 reasons why hardcore Forza players aren't so happy with Forza Horizon 5. And before we get into this video, you know the drill. 4,000 likes is the target, you already know. And comment down below Mr. Bombastic and I will heart your comment. Anyways, without further ado, let's get into this video.
It's not exciting when I win.
Now, one of the biggest problems about Forza Horizon 5 is the fact that they've removed a lot of cars that were seen in the older games. For example, the Aston Martin DBS, the Ford Focus ST, BMW i8 Roadster, the Jaguar CX-75, and the V10 Volkswagen Touareg, just to name a few. Now, you might be thinking, oh, those are just licensing problems, so there's no need to complain about that. Well, no, those are not licensing problems. All these manufacturers are seen in the game, so they can include these cars if they want to, but the reason they're not is so that they can reintroduce them into the game through the festival playlist. I mean, take a look at this AE86 I'm driving. In the older games, this was a 25 grand car, but now that this is a festival playlist car, this car is upwards of 1 million, nearly 2 million. You don't spend that sort of money on a car like this. What is this economy? And you know what, tell you what, yeah, let's go to the festival playlist and look at the cars. Oh, look at that. Nissan Sentra, a car that was seen in Forza Horizon 4. Testarossa has been seen in the franchise since the start of Forza. The Donkavor is a 40-point car, and this has been seen since like Horizon 2, I believe. I mean, imagine buying a brand new FIFA game of which 50 of the teams are missing, and you have to re-unlock them into the game by doing boring missions. That's basically what this is, Forza. And even worse, yeah, right now I'm driving a Porsche 911 Sport Classic, a very nice car. In fact, this is actually a Game Pass car, meaning you have to actually pay for this car, even though this car was seen in Forza Motorsport 4. Yep, this is an old car that they're making us pay to get back into the game, which is just really, really scammy. So yeah, man, in an ideal world, I wish that they could keep all the existing cars in the game, and that the festival playlist cars could be actually brand new cars that we've never seen in the game before. Now, have you noticed that when you first started playing Forza Horizon 5, the game was incredibly fun, but once you reach the Hall of Fame, all of a sudden the game just becomes really, really boring. But this is because the devs spend most of the time on the first couple of hours of the game, and then they completely neglect the end game. I mean, this is our stupid traffic. Anyways, this is why the intro screens are so energetic, and then afterwards everything just feels dull. And the Hot Wheels expansion as well. At the start, it was very adrenaline pumping, you know, the cutscenes were insane, and then afterwards it just gets really, really boring. Speaking of the Hot Wheels expansion, does anybody even remember that? It seems like a distant memory, but it was only a couple of months ago that was a thing. And also look at the cutscenes. At the start of the game, they were very, very cinematic, and you could tell that the devs spent a lot of time on that cutscene. But the following cutscenes are just really, really lazy. I didn't even realize that there were cutscenes. So Forza, if you're watching them, please keep the content consistent, because the end game in Horizon 5 is so bad.
We don't tell lies. I think the kids call it no cap.
Now, back when Forza Horizon games first started, we enjoyed the base game for a couple of months, and then the first expansion comes out 2 to 3 months after the base game. Then another 2 to 3 months later, we get the second expansion, and then around half a year later, we get the next motorsport game, which is fantastic. You know, all the content was very quick and snappy, it was fantastic. But that was around 7 years ago, whereas nowadays with the likes of TikTok and other social media apps, kids nowadays have very, very short attention spans. So with shorter attention spans, you'd expect the developers to sort of alter to that and bring out the content faster, but what do Forza do? Well, they bring out the content slower. As usually the first expansion takes around 3 months, but Horizon 5, yeah? 8 months for the first expansion. I mean, don't get me wrong, yeah, it was a fun expansion, but 8 months for Hot Wheels Part 2, what do you mean, Forza? And the DLC was only fun for like 2 weeks, and usually Horizon games come out once every 2 years, but nowadays they come out once every 3 years. Now that may not seem like a lot, but for people with attention spans shorter than we've ever seen before, yeah, 1 year makes a massive difference. And for 3-year intervals between the games, you'd expect the innovations to be insane, but honestly, it's just very, very underwhelming. Now, Forza Horizon 5 came out over 3 years after the release of Forza Horizon 4, so what exactly is new in Forza Horizon 5? 5. I mean, the graphics for sure, the graphics are insane in Forza Horizon 5. We can now gift cars, but we can't choose who we gift the car to, so that's kind of pointless. Some convertible cars do have toggle switches, not all convertible cars, but some of them do, which is kind of cool. We did get a few new wide body kits, so they removed Rocket Bunny and Herman, which is kind of annoying. And the event lab is a really good addition as well, so we kind of saw that in Horizon 4, so I don't know if you can count that as new. And that is basically it. Everything else was seen in the older games. And come on, Forza, 3 years for a new map and those new features is kind of underwhelming. Those are features we'd expect to see in an update, but you're adding them into a new game and making us wait 3 years, man. So yeah, man, in my humble opinion, 3 years for all of this is very underwhelming.
This is what I meant when I said what I said.
Casual players may see Forza as a racing game where you're an OP racer who owns a festival site, races supercars, earns millions of dollars, but it was never like this. As when Horizon started out, you were a tourist exploring a brand new country, you started from the bottom and you made your way up, which gave you a sense of satisfaction unlike anything else. This is exactly what Forza Horizon games are meant to be about, but ever since becoming the festival director in these Forza games, the franchise just seemed to be very dead and boring. It's like there's no point spending time in the game when you start the game at the very top, which brings me very nicely to my next point. Myself, Black Panther, and literally every race game YouTuber have complained about this. Where the fuck is the progression, Forza? It's non-existent. I mean, new Horizon games do tend to have bad progression, but Horizon 5 is next level bad. As you start the game in high-powered sports cars that are borderline supercars. I mean, we've got a C8 Corvette, a modified Toyota Supra, and a Ford Bronco. And what makes this worse is you don't choose what car you want to have, you choose what car you want to drive, because you actually own all 3 of those cars, which just doesn't make any sense. I mean, don't get me wrong, this would be good for casual players who want to hop onto the game quickly and then hop off because they're casual players. But for racing game fans who want to grind, why the fuck is this a thing? I'm swearing too much. I mean, this is like loading up FIFA Ultimate Team and starting off with a full gold team. That's just boring. In that case, there's nothing to work for and there is no point in bronze players, because if you have a team with all gold players, what's the point in bronze players and silver players? Just like that, when you start off in good cars in Forza Horizon 5, there is no use for low-powered cars. The whole point of video games is to be satisfied with the progression you make, but there is no satisfaction where there is no progression. And that plays a big part as to why Forza games feel boring, because there's absolutely no satisfaction when playing the game. But the Hall of Fame is barely satisfying as well. You can reach that in a couple of hours. Honestly, if you felt like you were progressing through the game, then I reckon we'd enjoy the game much more. But when you start the game at the very top, there's literally nothing to play for. It's like you're buying the game at 100% completion. Like, what is this, Forza?
Like I'm Killian, punch like I'm Dillian.
Now, it's no secret that with new features goes old features, and some of these old features were very well appreciated. For example, in Horizon 2 and Horizon 3, we used to have car meets, but ever since Horizon 4 and of course Horizon 5, they got rid of that, which I just don't understand. Also, Horizon 4 introduced houses for the first time, and we saw 12 houses. However, in Horizon 5, we only have 7 houses. Also, in Horizon 3, you've got fully rendered building interiors, which looked stunning, but in Horizon 5, they simplified it to this very low resolution interior, which is just kind of lazy in my opinion. And of course in Horizon 5 they removed lots of car manufacturers like Alfa Romeo, Abarth, Tesla, Rolls-Royce. A lot of these manufacturers are not seen in Horizon 5 for whatever reason. I just don't understand. Like, I mean, I know it's licensing, but these cars were fantastic and I would love to see them return into the Horizon 5. Also, the damage model is absolutely terrible in Horizon 5 compared to what we used to see in Horizon 1. Also, sensor speed in Horizon 5 is terrible. No denying that. Terrible. Also, in Forza Horizon 1 we saw 8 showcase events. In Horizons 2, 3 and 4 we saw 5 showcase events, but in Forza Horizon 5 we only see 4, of which we play all of them right at the start of the game. We also saw road trips in Horizon 2 which are not seen in Horizon 3, 4 and 5. In Horizon 3 we used to have a festival level system, which was one of the best features about Horizon 3, but they decided to get rid of that in Horizon 4 and 5, which I just don't understand. And yeah man, it's pretty disappointing that all of these features are gone or downgraded. So the real question is, what does this all come down to?
Bag Chanel, the trips to Paris and the
It's pretty obvious that the reason why new games just don't hit the same is because of the target audience. Games are toned down these days to target casual gamers over veteran gamers. This is why FIFA players complain about FIFA, but casual players find it completely fine. Same thing with Call of Duty, Battlefield, Halo, Just Cause, Far Cry. Basically every franchise out there, the veteran gamers find it meh, but the casual players absolutely love it. And being completely real, the devs don't have Forza fans at the top of their priority list. They want their franchise to be more of a numbers game to attract casual players so they can brag about the numbers and make money. I mean, sure, it's good business-wise because you need to attract the casual players to make money, and lots of money means the game could be better, but then the franchise has got to slowly lose its soul and it's got to die down. We're seeing lots of signs of that in Horizon 5 because it feels way more childish compared to the older games. So I really hope that the devs start to prioritize racing game fans again, because come on, we are the reason why the game is where it's at right now. So come on Forza, please start prioritizing your fans again. Well, hello there, did you enjoy this video? If so, then you might want to watch this video up here, so make sure to give that a watch right now. And if you want to subscribe to my channel, then boom, press this button right here, please. Thank you very much, haha. Anyways, have a good one, guys. Cheers.